So many people are probably sick of me saying this. I've said this 100 times, but it's important. And again, I have to keep saying it and keep saying it. Because if you say nothing, nothing will be achieved. Basically, it stay the same way. At least if you speak out and say something, things can change. Hopefully, possibly, maybe in this country, but things never change because it's all to suit the establishment. You can't change the system. You can break the system, but you can't change the system, especially when it's so deep rooted in political parties. It's a very tough thing to uproot. Let's put it that way. And this is to do with local councils, the Office of Public Works, other stuff. We see high up civil servants who are unelected on hundreds of thousands of euro that we don't even know their names. We don't even know anything about them. And these are high up civil servants making decisions for the country in our local authorities and stuff like that, director of services and stuff like that in different parts of the councils across the country. We know nothing about them, not hundreds of thousands of euro a year, and they make all the decisions. And it's been said to me hundreds of times by councillors here in Cavan, oh, our hands are tied, it's up to the director of services, it's up to this person, it's up to that person in the council. And I would say, who elected them, to make this decision? Because many times I went to them about different things, even minor things, minor stuff, and they were like, "Oh, we can't do anything about that. It's up to this person that's a civil servant to do it." And these are elected councillors on thousands of euro. The same as the civil servants. But what I'm trying to say, the councillors are there for a reason. They're paid thousands of euros for a reason to do work. And I don't like it the way that the councillors should be doing it in terms of these things instead of civil servants, high up civil servants that are unelected and stuff like that and generally don't really care because they are not accountable to anybody really. And that's the truth. The same with the Office of Public Works and OT. These people just run the place and they don't have any repercussions. They can just throw money out the window and nothing's ever done about it. We see in the Office of Public Works, money's just been fucked around like confetti. And nobody's lost their job, nobody's been named, nobody's been sent to prison, nothing's changed. Pretty much same old, same old. It's the same in our local towns, it's the same all over the public sector. Garda Síochána too, there's people in Garda Síochána we don't know anything about, in offices that we don't know anything about, that are making high up decisions. Like not even Drew Harris, there's people behind Drew Harris and stuff like that. Along with other people too, we talk about the Gardaí. But it's the same in every organisation of the state, in the HSE too. There's people that sit in offices on 400,000 euro, doing God knows what. But these are the people making all the decisions. Again, this is the thing. They have such a grasp on Irish society. They can really change things, and particularly speaking on local issues, just particularly. These people have all the power more than the councils and more than our local representatives. It is insane. It is literally ludicrous when you really sit down and think about it, that unelected people that are unelected at the council, take for example, local county level, and not even that at the HSE in general too, but at the council level I know a lot about, on different things like that, because it is insane to hear that councillors have often said to me that we can't do anything because there's some civil servant has to do it. That this person or that person has to do it on hundreds of thousands of euro, and they're the ones making the decision. Well, in the end of the day, and in my opinion, and I think for the vast majority of the Irish public, it's your local councillors, and particularly in the local level, when you elect these people, they should be making the decisions. They should have the ball stops with them. Shouldn't stop with an unelected civil servant that we don't even know their name and they're not accountable to anybody. At least the councillors and TDs and senators are accountable to the Irish public. Their face is known, if that makes sense. Their name is known because they're senators and members of the Oireachtas and local authority, etc., etc. But with these civil servants, they're anonymous. Quite literally. You might know their name, but you probably won't know their face. It's ridiculous. It's the same with many times I chased up different things in terms of not even just outside the council level, in departments and government departments, the Department of Defence. A few times I went looking for information. I was told to go to this high up civil servant that nobody knows anything about and stuff like that. Very shady stuff. And in the Department of Justice, the people in the Department of Justice that probably have more power than the Minister for Justice. It's insane to think really that these people do have a huge amount of power and a huge amount of sway in Irish society and can change things on a whim. And there's no questions about it. It is ludicrous. And it's something that's very fearful because, as I said in the beginning, a lot of these people do have friends in high offices, like political offices, and they're part of political parties. Take, for example, the Attorney General of the Irish state here. He's a great friend with Leo Varadkar. He's pretty much a Fine Gael. Like, let's put it straight, it is pretty much, even though the Attorney General is not supposed to be a political role, it's just there to uphold the laws of the state, really, in a way. But it's not supposed to be political, it's not supposed to be a party-led role, if that makes any sense. It's supposed to be apolitical. But Rosa Vanik is quite literally Fine Gael in a nutshell. But there's many other things to say, but as I say, we have to get rid of that kind of society. And I know everything can't be decided by councillors or TDs, but what I'm trying to say is the major decisions, like there's some major decisions being made, and they're not being made by the elected representatives of local authorities and national, like typicals of Dáil Éireann and Shannon Éireann, instead of being made in some office that we don't know nothing, these people know nothing about. The Irish people know nothing about these people. And again, they can't nitty gritty over everything, I understand that. But it's the fact of the matter, it's very fearful too, in a way, that these people have such great power. And they do have such great power, and I don't think it's recognised enough, and it's not talked about enough, that these people have such great power in the state, in terms of either it being the Office of Public Works, unelected people. It's very sus, and especially when you hear them lecture you. You hear Micheál Martin every day lecture you about the policy of democracy and freedom and everything. When these people that have high positions, as I said many times before, like the Gahirlux of the councils, chief executives should be elected to the council, either be Lord Mayors or chief executives. To say they should be elected. If we are a democracy, that's the way it should be. It shouldn't be just given out. That's pretty much what I deem as too. But even though the chief executives like the chief executives of county councils have a good bit of a role and stuff, but there's even higher people than that. Just to say, like it's insane to think when you really hear about it. But the whole system's kind of just. It's all wrong, to be totally honest. I don't think it happened years ago, because there's probably more accountability in terms of who's making the decisions and who has the final say. Nowadays, it's anonymous. It's quite literally anonymous. You can never find out. We still don't know. Just take for example in the Office of Public Works. We still don't know who signed off on the bicycle shed, even though some high up civil servant somewhere in the Office of Public Works signed the dotted line saying yes, go ahead, I don't care, or something like that. Well, we're still here. Anyway, let me know what you think, because again, there's a clique. That's what we call it, a clique, a society, in the civil service and the public service, and it should be ratted out, to be totally honest. But there's no will to do it, because they're a part of the political establishment, and because the Irish state the last few years has festered really in terms of protecting these people, and that's really what it is. Let me know what you think. Subscribe for more and bye.